Hey.
Alright y'all, so the Orlando Magic 4 games into the season are sitting at 2-2. They got 2 wins over the Rockets and over the Portland Trailblazers, and then they recently lost a back-to-back in LA against the Lakers and the Clippers. And although you might be thinking to yourself, that's what we should expect from the Magic, 2 wins against teams that are worse than them and 2 losses against teams that are better than them, a big reason why I just don't feel that great about the Orlando Magic to start the season is because Paolo Banchero and even Franz Wagner to a bit of a degree, I've just simply been underperforming. But obviously, as the title and thumbnail suggests, we're gonna dig into Paolo. But obviously, as the title and thumbnail suggests, we're gonna be digging into Paolo Banchero in this video. I rewatched the game between the Magic and the Clippers, and again, I'll add the context. It was the second night of a back-to-back. They just had a really tough game against the Lakers. They went and had another really tough game against the Clippers, and that definitely could have been playing into his performance. But at the same time, I do have to say I'm a little bit worried with the way that Banchero has been playing to start the season. And the stats back it up too. Now at his core, Paolo Banchero is sort of a point forward. I think that's probably the best way to classify him, and he's someone who thrives on getting to the rim and putting that rim pressure on the defense to either go get a bucket himself, get to the foul line, which he excelled at as a rookie last season, or he's starting to develop the ability to pass after driving and hitting his open teammates off of his driving opportunities. And to keep it simple, we are just not seeing those same things to open up this season throughout this first week or so. His points per game have dropped by 7.5 points. He's not getting as many rebounds. His field goal percentage is down about 5 percentage points. He somehow has gotten even worse at shooting threes, and he's not taking nearly as many as he did last season. He's also shooting 1 less free throw per game, and probably the most frightening thing is his free throw shooting has dropped from 73% all the way down to 53%. Because again, Banchero's ability to get to the foul line was something that was huge for him in his rookie season. It was unprecedented to see someone at his age be able to get over 7 free throw attempts per game. And although he wasn't an elite foul shooter by any means, 73% was at least something respectable and a good building point for him to go forward with. But again, if he's not going to be hitting free throws at even a decent rate, then that is a huge alarm to sound for his game. Now, I will also add there are some silver linings. He is averaging more assists per game so far. He's up about almost 1, and he's also up 1 steal per game as well. But probably the next most alarming thing behind the free throws is his shot attempts. And even looking big picture, this has been a huge issue for the Orlando Magic when it comes to their young star players in Banchero and Wagner. Because last season, Banchero was over 15 shot attempts per night. So far through the first 4 games, he's under 12, a little over 11 shots a night. And then also when it comes to Franz Wagner, he was at 14 shot attempts last season, and he's hovering right around the same number at 14.5 to open this year. And I know I've already seen quotes in the media about the Magic wanting Wagner to take more of a leader role on offense, and the same thing goes for Banchero. These are the 2 guys that are supposed to be the go-to scorers in big opportunities, and they just haven't really shown up for the cause yet. In fact, even just from a consistency basis with scoring the basketball, Banchero was really solid in that area as well. In fact, in 40 of the 72 games that he played last year, he scored at 20 or more points. As compared to this year, again, I know small sample size, only 4 games in, but he's yet to even top 15. And again, that's insane for someone who just last season was getting to the free throw line consistently and getting easy looks at the rim, using his body and physicality to get the defense in bad spots, and again, just capitalizing off of that for easy points. And even when watching the tape, it just seemed like there is such a lack of aggression from his standpoint right now. The Magic have been making a good effort to get him the ball in the low post, which was a really beneficial spot for him last season. And at least from this one game, he was settling for a lot of jumpers, at least in the first half, and even when he did take it to the rim, it was either defended well, which again isn't necessarily his fault, but he just wasn't using that same physicality that I've seen him use in the past to get a good look at the rim or get to the foul line. He also had some really unusual blown opportunities when it came to a few layups here and there. Now again, maybe this is attributed to the fact that it was the second night of a back-to-back, but I'm not really here to give him excuses. Now I will add, in the second half, I felt like I was seeing more of the Banchero that I saw last season. He was doing a much better job of getting to the rim, attacking, and again, bringing that rim pressure that makes him such a valuable player, and he was actually finishing shots at the rim. Now, it wasn't enough because the Clippers were absolutely blazing in the second half, shooting-wise, but it did leave me with a much better taste in my mouth when it comes to the Magic moving forward than the first half did. Now, I also do understand that this Magic team has a decent amount of pressure on them because of high expectations that were set in this offseason. A lot of people think that they're going to take a leap and be a potential playoff team, or at the very least be a play-in team with a chance to make the playoffs. And I'm still on board with that. I'm not, ditching the ship yet just because of a couple of bad games, 1 week of bad play. Plus, it did take last year's Magic team a couple of months to get together and then finally go on a nice little winning streak and winning a lot of games. There was also that quote right before the season started from Patrick Beverley where he was essentially calling out Banchero and Wagner to, step up and be star players for this Magic team that is projected to be a playoff team. And maybe that's shooken them a little bit. I don't know. But I didn't necessarily agree with the quote at the time, but I did see the truth in it. But Banchero and Wagner have been known to be more passive than other teams' star players, so this is definitely something that will need to be addressed at some point if the Magic want to turn things around, which I bet they eventually do. I bet there will be a point in a couple of weeks down the line where we see Banchero start to unleash a little more and get more aggressive. Same thing with Franz Wagner, because there is no doubt in my mind that the Magic aren't just gonna sit around and let the season continue the way it has been. So much like the Scoot Henderson video I just made, I'm not hitting the panic button yet on Paolo Banchero. Although I will say I am a bit more worried than I was for Scoot Henderson just because Banchero has a certain level of expectations that he hasn't been meeting yet. With him being the supposed franchise guy for this team, he hasn't been living up to that so far this season. He's not even playing up to the level that we saw him at last season. So because of that, I am a little worried, but I still know deep down that this Magic team will turn around at some point and all will be well. That's all I got for this video. As always, if you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see y'all in the next one.